of like if Kyle Shanahan drafts like the next Justin Herbert of this draft, are the Niners still going to be contenders in the NFC division? Like the whole like playoffs, like the possibility of getting a first round bye and all that.
If they draft a player like how Justin Herbert was last year,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl just because it's an unprecedented thing to win
Hmm.
a Super Bowl with the rookie quarterback. But
Yeah.
I definitely think that the Niners, even with the rookie quarterback, whether it's, in my opinion, Mac Jones or Justin Fields, because those are the two I feel most confident about. But even if you maybe throw Trey Lance in, if that's Kyle's guy, I think he's more than capable of as a coach. And I think all three of them are talented enough to go into the playoffs and win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Heck,
Hmm.
I think Jimmy Garoppolo probably needs to go in terms
Yeah.
of they need to start the rookie from day one. But at the same time, I think this roster is good enough where if they stay healthy and the coaching staff is so good, they can go into the playoffs and win a playoff game with Jimmy as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we have won games against a playoff team in the Rams with Nick Mullins,
Absolutely.
an undrafted free agent. Like,
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You were just talking about Jimmy. I was gonna ask, what's realistic? What's the realistic outcome for Jimmy G? Like, does he? Everyone's saying that Justin Fields, Mac Jones, Trey Lance will start day one, but before before everything, before I think when we still had the number 12 pick, everyone was saying Jimmy D is still gonna start this year, but what's realistic for him now?
So here's my thing. First, if you believe you can start Jimmy G this year, you're not so aggressive in trying to trade up to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
If you're trading three, what? Well, it's essentially three ones. You're
Hmm.
basically saying that you need a quarterback now.
Yeah.
And Jimmy
yeah,
G is such a health risk. Can you really rely on him and sit the
Yeah.
rookie? Two,
Anybody who
if you're
can stay
talking from
healthy.
Jimmy G's career perspective, right?
hmm
Everybody brings up the best case scenario, which is Alex Smith, right? And if he has the Alex Smith situation, he can get traded somewhere next year. The Niners can get massive picks. He can re up his contract, get paid, and start somewhere for the next, and at least be another team's short term future.
Yeah.
But Alex Smith is the one off example, right? How many teams have tried the bridge quarterback thing and it hasn't worked?
a
Deshaun
lot.
Watson, Texans started Tom Savage for a half. Jimmy G, way better than Tom Savage. Sam Bradford, Josh Rosen. Sam Bradford started 4 games, right? Let's think. Let's go back. Who else? With Justin Herbert, Tyrod Taylor started a game.
Hmm.
Tyrod Taylor with Baker Mayfield started 3 games. So, like, the bridge quarterback thing, is Jimmy G better than all those guys? Sure, but the
Yes.
bridge quarterback thing generally just it hasn't worked in that Alex Smith Mahomes situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
if,
was like one of a
again,
kind.
speaking from Jimmy G's perspective, if he gets unseated by the rookie and he goes to the
Oh,
bench,
his trade
Jimmy
value is
Garoppolo would never
nothing.
walk into another training camp where
Mm.
he would be the prospective starter.
Yep.
No.
Nobody would bring him in to be their short-term future starting quarterback. So I think his best case scenario is wait till the draft is done, right? Because somebody, as Kyle Shanahan said in his initial presser after they traded up for 3,
The right
somebody's
price.
getting left at the altar here. Whether
Yeah.
it's Washington, whether it's Chicago. I mean, I guess Chicago's got Andy Dalton and they
Nah.
seem to be comfortable with that. But Denver, somebody is not going to
Mhm.
have a quarterback.
Yep.
And because the Niners moved up, they're getting a quarterback for sure. And because the Niners moved up, Carolina felt they were going to be left at the altar, and they went and got desperate and went and got Sam Darnold.
Yep.
So because of that, somebody's getting left at the altar. And I think that the 49ers, or excuse me, I think the best case for Jimmy G is to hope it's either Denver or Washington, two teams that have the talent to make the playoffs, two teams where if he goes and he plays like a starter, which we know he's more than capable of doing, they can make the playoffs and he can be their short-term future, at least at quarterback. So I think that best case scenario for Jimmy G is to move on. And I think it's best for the Niners too.
Do you think
Yeah.
it's possible that he gets traded on draft day?
Yeah, I think it's more than
Yeah.
possible. Second or third day of the draft, if somebody gets desperate, realizing they're not going to get a quarterback, then yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo has some trade value right now as it is. So if they're desperate, that's just even more trade value. They're gonna overpay or
Yeah.
over send
Absolutely.
picks for that. Like,
I mean, Sam Darnold just went for 3 picks, a
yeah,
sixth,
nobody
a
would have thought
second, and a
that.
fourth. Right,
A
and
guy that got dropped or benched for Joe Flacco, or yeah, he got benched
a
last
guy
year, I
who
think.
Joe Flacco outplayed last year. But
Yeah.
the other thing with Jimmy G is like whatever you think of him, whatever you want to say about him, he's a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there
He is
aren't that many guys that you can say are legitimate starting quarterbacks that you can win with. He is one of them. There's probably 24 or 25 guys, and there's 32 starting jobs. So he's one of those 25. So because of that, I think that there's still real value to him, in my opinion, at least. And I would think that somebody would trade for him. It might be like a second-round pick. It wouldn't be the first-round pick, but I still think that's great value for the Niners.